I'm about to bring up some very special people to us, and I just really thought it was fitting to have these two come and speak tonight. When I was planning this party and everything, I was having a really bad day one day. You know, I think one of our clients had committed suicide. It was just like one of those days that was not good. And I get emails periodically from Maureen, and she would just let me know how her son Matt was doing, and he was doing good. And on that day, she sent me, you know, hey, Matt just picked up his 2-year anniversary, you know, and I thought, well, we really need to have them come, because this is the reason we all do that. And it was even when Maureen says, well, I'm going to speak to these people, they do this all day, what do they want to hear from me, you know? I told her, Maureen, you are the reason we do this every day. And if we don't hear from you that are successful at this thing, you know, you're what keeps us going a lot of days. So with that, I'd like to bring them up and let them share their story with you. Come on up.
I wish I could do this without paper, but I'll get too emotional. But a few years ago, I received an award at work, and it was given at a dinner where I had it was actually, I think, in this room, but I had to give a speech. And I said, no, I can't accept the award because I can't give a speech. But I did it, and I got through it, and I said, good, I'll never have to do that again. And then Jim asked me to come down here and say just a couple of words. He sort of minimized the whole idea of what this was all about. But after I saw my name on the flyer, my stomach did a little flip. But if Jim asked me to do cartwheels across this floor, I'd probably do them. Thanks, Jim. I owe him and Treatment Solutions so much. They got Matt on the road to recovery, and no words can ever express my gratitude for that. Matt will tell his story, and I'm not going to repeat that. My story is a mother's story. I've met lots of mothers over the last couple of years that have gone through the same story. I met Jim and Mike back before I even knew that I'd need them. When I was finally faced with the realization that we couldn't take care of this on our own, all it took was one phone call to Jim and Mike. After that, everything was off my shoulders, and Matt had the professional care that he needed. In a matter of hours, he had a plane ticket to Florida. Matt had come to the realization that he needed help. But figuring out how to get that help is sometimes stressful and confusing, and we had a few people helping, and he went from a detox to a homeless shelter, and we were trying to get him into a long-term program. He went to a homeless shelter, and that was the worst day of my life, one of the worst days of my life. I was dealing with a whole new set of words: detox, rehab, halfway houses, sober houses. I didn't know what to do, where to go, and Treatment Solutions took care of everything for me. But Matt's the oldest of my two boys, and he was a happy, self-assured, compassionate, athletic kid with lots of friends, and I watched him turn into a lonely, insecure young man with no social life, no friends. But it happened so gradually that I didn't even realize it was happening until it was almost too late. He didn't get in trouble with the law. He wasn't combative. He always had a decent job. He was helpful to me all the time, so I just had no clue what was going on. I believed everything he told me. He had never lied or been a difficult child, and his teenage years had gone well. I thank God that I wasn't going through some of the pain and suffering that I saw my friends going through with their teenagers. They say to talk to your kids about drugs, and I did that, I thought. And I warned them about alcohol. I told him his grandfather was an alcoholic. I knew he drank with his friends, but I never saw him drunk or not, well, maybe obnoxious once in a while. But it seemed like the same thing all his teenagers were doing. He seemed responsible about that. If he had too much, if he had a couple beers, he'd tell me he couldn't come home. You know, he couldn't drive. I was happy that he was being responsible. Then in his late teens, I found out about his drug use, and I took him to see a friend of mine who works in the field. Matt wasn't interested in going to any meetings. He said they were all alcoholics and drug addicts, and that wasn't his problem. He was just experimenting, and just like all his friends, and I chose to believe that. I didn't deal with the warning signs, and I'll always regret that. Missed all the red flags. The next few years went by with Matt spiraling downward and with me missing and ignoring the signs. He was addicted to OxyContin. Any suspicions I had were easily dismissed. He went to work every day. He had a good job. He was drug tested at work. Figured if they drug tested him, he must be okay. You know, I'm just getting paranoid because I saw so much of this going on in our neighborhood. And anytime I did confront him, he was angry or insulted, and I backed off. Looking back, I know that I should have gone to Al-Anon or some other support group. It would have opened my eyes to everything that was in front of me. But I thought I was different. I had been a quiet, private person. I didn't really want to talk to anybody about it. Now I see that the help was right there for me, and it would have given me the strength to deal with this. I would have learned that I was an enabler. I would have learned that saying I wouldn't give up on him is different than enabling him. It would have been more helpful and proactive, armed with more information. But I was afraid I'd be judged, and I thought, like Matt did, that these people had big problems, and we just have a little problem. It was only after I went to a couple of meetings with Matt down in Florida, the first time he was down in Florida, that I saw there isn't any judgment. Everybody's going through the same pain and the feelings of helplessness. This is a family disease, and you have to work together to get strong, to get the help you need. I have a friend who's going through this right now. Matt actually just got a call from her a few minutes ago. Her son's addicted to OxyContin, and she called me for help. She's strong and she's determined, and she hired a private investigator to make sure that, you know, she was right, and that she found out he was dealing drugs or using drugs, and she told me he couldn't live at home. She joined a group called Learning to Cope, and it's helped her. She's devastated, but she's learning to deal with this. I hid my head in the sand. Matt's road to recovery has been a windy road with a detour or two, but he's stronger every day, and he's been clean and sober for over 2 years. I also learned that relapse isn't a failure, but it's a step in the process. He spent 2 Mother's Days down in Florida, and I couldn't have asked for a better Mother's Day present. Every Mother's Day I thank God and Treatment Solutions and Matt for giving me my son back. I described him as passionate with many friends and close to his family before. In the last 2 years, he's back. He has so many new friends, mostly friends he's met at AA meetings. He's close to his younger brother. They play golf together and fantasy football and do all the things that brothers should do. Last year, he went to Italy with his father, and he's going back again this year, and they both enjoyed themselves. They didn't kill each other. He's gone skydiving and a helicopter ride over New York City, things he never had money to do when he was using drugs. He was chosen by his union to be one of 16 young workers from around the country to represent young people in his union. He was chosen from his union to be on the Political Action Committee. He's helping another family go through the same things he's gone through, and they told me how helpful he's been. I've never been so proud. But it does take a village. We all stand on the shoulders of others. Matt wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for EAPs, the guys he worked with who spend their lives helping others recover, his union and his employer who realize that this is a disease to be treated like any other disease. He's been luckier than most. He has a wonderful health plan. He's never had to worry about health insurance. They gave him the time off that he needed to get the help he needed. He's had so many resources, so many people that to thank, but thanks to all of you who do this for a living, and you're all saints. Thanks also to the Gavin House and the Answer House who taught Matt and so many others how to live a fulfilling, productive, sober life. Treatment Solutions' approach to treatment appeared at our doorstep when we didn't know where to turn. Once Matt made the decision that he was sick of being sick and needed help, they took over. Everything from travel arrangements to health insurance and where to send care packages to. It was all handled with kindness and professionalism. By the time his brother and I went to visit him, I felt like I knew the whole staff. I felt like they knew me, they cared about me. They're all saints. They taught me about being hopeful and realistic, that this is a lifelong journey and it'll have its ups and downs. But I didn't want to leave. I felt safe there, and for the first time, they understood what my family was going through. I've said fooling around that I wish there was a 30-day program for mothers. A place to go and heal. I was only half kidding, too. The stress and the worry and the sleepless nights, the love of heaven, the love of your life addicted to a debilitating disease hurts. My heart hurt. I needed someone to take care of me. I do have wonderful family and friends, and once I let them in, they wanted to help, but I didn't even know what I needed. We're all still healing. I'm a much stronger, more realistic, I'm less judgmental. Life's a journey. We are who we are because of our experiences. I wouldn't have picked this for Matt, but I know that he's grown from this, and I see the same qualities he had when he was a boy are magnified now in his life. The compassion that he had is now magnified. I talked to Jim and Mike, and the professionals there showed Matt that he had a problem, showed me that Matt had a problem, but also that he had a full life to live, just waiting for him. So to all of you who devote your lives to helping families just like mine, thanks from the bottom of my heart. And lastly, thank you to Matt. Your hard work and determination. You've grown so much during this journey, and it's brought out all the special parts of you that I love. Thank you. He'll get up there, who knows.
Another round of applause for my mother. Thank you. I got to speak right into it. Alright, I can handle that. My name is Matt. I introduced myself from behind the podium as an alcoholic and an addict. And that's what I am today. And, I know that because of what I've gone through and what people have taught me. 3 years ago, in I want to say it was March, April. My mother finally said, I have someone to introduce you to, and he's going to help you. Give this guy a call. I gave him a call, and intimidating, and show up at my house, and we're going, and you're coming with me. He brought me to a meeting. I was high as a kite, and I didn't listen at the meeting. And he dropped me off in my car, and he said, give me a call when you're ready. That was about 3 weeks later. I woke up on a Monday morning, no money in my pocket, sick as a dog, having to go to work crying, and I called him and I said, I need help. He said, I've been waiting for you to call for 3 weeks, and I was on my way. I was in detox later that day. I went out to a detox out in Worcester, Mass, and I was there for about 10 days. From there, they asked me where I wanted to go, and I told them that I wanted to go to the Gavin House. I was told I was going there with a family friend. The guy kind of just looked at me. He's like, yeah, all right, kid, that's where you're going. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And I left there with no plans, no idea what to do. And I was dropped off in Quincy at the homeless shelter. I think I spent about 5 or 6 days there, miserable, still sick, still detoxing. And I had gone home one afternoon, and finally, my mom said, there's someone that you need to call. Here's a phone number. I had no idea who I was calling or what I was doing. And they said, Matt, we understand that you need help, and would you be interested in going on to further treatment? I said, as long as I don't have to stay in that homeless shelter tonight, I'm up for anything.